Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Three Lions podcast. My name's Russell Osborne.
And his daughter, Ellie.
This, as you know, is an independent England football supporters podcast. So here we are. It's, what are we, Tuesday. It's just gone 8:30 in the morning. It's Tuesday, the following Tuesday, after the Lionesses have won the European Championships for the second time. We are on our way to London to hopefully see the victory parade. As I say, it's 9:25 in the morning. Me and Ellie are making our way to the Mall and Buckingham Palace. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see the girls and the trophy in front of everyone. And hopefully coming up on this episode, I'll be speaking with Nick Jones, who was out there in Basel, who saw the game, who saw that trophy lift live. So stay with us, we'll see what we can see. So here we are, we've made it to the Mall, we've made it to Buckingham Palace. It is 10:10 in the morning. Buckingham Palace is to our right, the Mall is to our left. We are, I reckon, about 150 metres from the Queen Victoria Monument, which is where the stage has been set up in front of it, and Buckingham Palace is the backdrop to that. Already there are a lot of people here. It's already, people have got their chairs out, people are sitting down waiting on their phones, playing cards. The Mall, as you look at it, has got all the flags out as you'd expect on a prestigious day. It's got the St George's Cross, the Union flags, all the bunting is out all the way up the Mall. Lots of people, loads of England shirts. As I say, it's packed already. It's a little bit overcast. It's a little bit clammy as well. We've got just under 2 hours to wait. Rock, paper, scissors, Ellie. It's, what are we? 11:05, and the England band now are playing in front of Buckingham Palace. We're just trying to warm the crowd up at the moment. Lots of cameras going up and down the Mall at the moment, interviewing people. Oh no, I've got a bit of a low battery running here. They've just shown on the big screens that the team coaches have turned a corner at the top of the Mall. There's a marching band in front of them. You can see on the big screens now, they've just turned the top of the corner and making their way past us soon. Just passed us on the bus. I couldn't record anything because I had my daughter on my shoulders, which was cool. She got to see it all. Lauren James was on our side. Hannah Hampton was holding the trophy at the back. Gave it a raise for us. But the buses have made their way to the front, and we're just waiting for them to get on the stage at the moment. Sound, there's no sound here. All we can see is just screens. Now, I get the irony there where I mention about the quality of the sound system on the Mall and during the parade there, and the irony that my quality of my audio wasn't too good there, but yeah. A good afternoon was had by all. Ellie enjoyed it, but I'm glad to say I am joined now by England fan, Leeds fan as well, Lionesses fan, and someone who was out there in Basel for the final, Nick Jones. Hello there, Nick.
Hey Russell, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Just about recovered from Sunday's antics. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Well, before you tell us about that one, this isn't the first time you've been out there to Switzerland, is it?
No, I did the England v Wales game a couple of weeks ago, the last group game. So did a short trip there out on the morning. Just to get acclimatized for the final, which I knew we were going to get to. Yeah, so out on the morning of that game and then back the following morning. So kind of a short trip, but that was a good game as well. And this one was even better on Sunday.
Well, you said there you knew we were going to get to. You've obviously got a ticket for the final. How far in advance did you think to yourself, right, I'm going for a final ticket? And then obviously comes with
all the travel arrangements as well. I had a ticket from the back end of last year for myself and my sister-in-law who came with me to the final at Wembley in 2022. So we got tickets in the general sale, and fortunately, this in the last week we were kind of able to sort of swap them for England end tickets as well. So kind of to be in the thick of it at the England end in the stadium. But I actually booked my flight out to Basel back at the end of April. Okay. So I kind of took a punt that we were going to get there. I thought to myself, if I've got these general sale tickets, I might go out for the final anyway, even if the Lionesses didn't get there. But I was confident enough to kind of spend a little, make that investment and spend a little bit of money to get that flight to Basel, and it paid off beautifully.
Marvellous. So what was it? First thing out Sunday morning?
Yeah, first thing out Sunday morning. So out of Luton about 6:30 into Basel, kind of probably just over an hour later. It's actually quite a quick flight. And then straight into the city centre, and I met the guys from Radio 5 Live.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of do a stint with them, which they didn't tell me about beforehand, what I'd be doing and who I'd be speaking to. But end up I went on air alongside Ellen White.
Marvellous.
The Lionesses top goal scorer of all time, bit of an England legend, and Emma Sanders, who's the lead women's football writer for the BBC. So there was the fans' perspective, the media's perspective, and also the players' perspective. And so that was really good. It was great to meet them. And then off to the FSA that had set up a kind of base camp for the fans, it was basically like a beach party themed sort of set up with sand, with waterfalls, with bars, food stalls, really, really good set of music going as well. So that was quite a nice little setup they had right in the centre of Basel in a kind of a conference centre.
Right.
Outdoor it's sort of like the atrium or the kind of the courtyard bit of it, this kind of conference centre. That was really well done. And it was from there that about 2:45 that the fan walk started to.
We've heard about this fan walk, and it's apparently it varies in length, I think, doesn't it, for various games, depending on obviously where the stadium is and where the centre of the town is.
It does indeed. So I did the fan walk at St Gallen for the Wales game, and it was probably about a quarter of a mile. So I think we were kind of done very, very, very quickly. Quarter of a mile to a half a mile, if I'm being generous. This one was 3 miles. 3 miles in quite warm conditions, and then partway through the heavens opened, and it started raining as well. So to quickly get the jackets out. But it was actually really fun. My sister-in-law and I got some cans on just before the start, so we kind of that kept us hydrated on the journey. And it was lovely to see the Swiss people as well. They were kind of leaning out of their windows, coming out of their houses to cheer us on. And we kind of thanked them back, obviously, because they Switzerland, I think, have put on a fantastic tournament. So it was nice to give them some thanks back, and to shake some hands. Just really nice. Lots of singing. The England band were there as well, playing tunes as well. And it was just a really nice experience. And the three miles went rather quickly.
No, you got your steps in, put it that way.
You got your steps in, and then I got to the stadium, and there, kind of in front of me, I just happened to see Serena Wiegmann's daughters. So I recognised them from media photos, and I just said, "Oh, you're Serena's daughters, aren't you?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I said, "Do you mind if I get a photo with you guys?" And they said, "Yeah, no, not at all." So yeah, met them just outside the stadium. I think they were kind of waiting for the fan walk to kind of to appear.
Yeah.
And then got inside the stadium and a 2-hour-ish wait for the game.
Yeah, I mean, as a stadium, I've been there a couple of times before, and I know it is a fair trek out of the centre of the city. From my memory, it's a stadium that's got like a shopping centre sort of underneath it. Is that? Am I thinking of the right place?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It has. It's got a shopping centre kind of underneath it, and one of the ends you can see. You probably see it from the coverage. There's like a big, do you want to call it, kind of skyscraper that kind of overlooks it?
Tower, yeah,
glass pointed tower that overlooks it. So we saw some people on there on the balcony who see they had some great views for the final. But yes, I mean it's not the biggest stadium. I think it's I think it's 34,000 there on Sunday. I think it holds a little bit more. So there might have been some I doubt it was segregation or some reason.
Just general restrictions.
General restrictions, but the atmosphere was fantastic. It was a nice little stadium. So it was just great to be there and sort of soak up that atmosphere. Before the game.
What was your feelings before the game? Because obviously we've seen Lionesses go through the tournament. Obviously lost the first game, beat the Dutch, beat the Welsh, struggled. Let's be honest, against the Swedes and the Italians, and I think the general consensus was we've seen Spain throughout the tournament as well, and the two teams had come together for the final. I mean, we all know that anything can happen in a final, but I've got to say I thought Spain would be the ultimate winners.
Yeah, I mean, my mind kept going back to last year and the men's Euros. I know you and I've had discussion before. We don't like to compare the two, but I think there were some feelings that I had, particularly after the defeat last year, where lots of people said that kind of the beautiful Spanish game, kind of ultimately won against the kind of the more ugly England game, where we were kind of getting last minute goals and having to really dig deep. And they kind of said it was it would have been an injustice if the English had won last year for the men's. I was kind of, those thoughts were still playing in my mind this year as well, because you see the Spanish are an incredible team. They've got some absolutely fantastic players, Bonmati, Putellas, Pina, just absolutely world class. I mean, the Spanish players have won the last 4 Ballon d'Ors. That tells you all you need to know. And then we were there and we'd been kind of grinding those results out. So part of me thought that kind of beautiful Spanish game could kind of win out. But then I don't know, I just also had this overriding feeling that the mood was good. I had a similar sort of feeling at the final at Wembley 3 years ago, that it was going to be our time. We were going to do it. I can't fully explain it. I just kind of thought that was going to happen, and I felt the same thing again. And as we kind of got into the match, like first sort of 2-3 minutes in, and we were going for it in the first 2 to 3 minutes, I just thought, I think we're up for this. I think we're gonna do it. Didn't know or expect it was going to go to penalties like the way it did, but I thought we would get a result somehow.
Yeah, well, Serena obviously decided to bring in Lauren James, who had picked up an injury in the previous game. And I must admit, when I saw the lineup, I thought, is this going to be a risk? How long is she going to last? How bad is this injury? And I think did Spain score before she came off? I think.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I looked at the starting lineup and I thought the bigger. I wasn't as concerned about James, because I kind of thought Serena knows what she's doing. She's put James in for a reason, so therefore, kind of in Serena we trust. And I think that even more now, 2 days later on. I think my concern was probably more of about Esme Morgan dropping out and Carter coming in, simply because I thought Esme Morgan had a fantastic game for the most part against the Italians, and is she going to Carter coming back in? Is that going to disrupt a few things? And obviously Carter, God bless her, has been through a lot in the last week or so, particularly off the back of that Sweden game. But I mean, it turns out I didn't have to be concerned about that because I think Jessica Carter put an absolute shift in, and
absolutely.
But particularly in that first half an hour, 40 minutes, I was just there looking at James, and she was kind of getting passes wrong. She just didn't look right, and just felt that she had to come off. Something wasn't quite clicking. Something wasn't quite there.
Yeah. So Spain scored in the first half. Went in 1-0 up. Was this at the end you were at?
No, it was at the other end. So that the Spanish scored at the Spanish end. Actually, both the goals in the 90 minutes were at the same end, the Spanish end. So, but fortunately, our end did get the penalties later on.
We'll come to that.
To that. Yeah.
When that Spain one in, what was the feeling around you?
Yeah, it was a bit of deflation, but very quickly that turned into, come on, they've scored early, and we can get this back. One of the things I said when I was being interviewed alongside Ellen and Emma back for BBC was, I think because of what we've demonstrated in the previous games, the Swedish game and the Italian game, if we go 1-0 down or 2-0 down, I still think the Spanish could be very worried about us because they've seen what we can do in previous games. Therefore, they're not going to be relaxing at all. They're going to be thinking, what have we unleashed? What have we unleashed here on the English? And we were right about that. Obviously, we got into early in the second half, and we were able to come back through a fantastic goal from Alessia.
Yeah, I mean that goal came via the cross from Chloe Kelly, who'd come on as the substitute for Lauren James, I believe. And I mean, we'll wax lyrical about Chloe Kelly in a moment, I'm sure. But Alessia Russo equalised for us. That was what we needed, wasn't it, to bring us back into the game? Obviously,
it was. It turbocharged us as well. And I'm also I'm so glad that Russo got it, because I think she hasn't scored the most goals this tournament. I think she's on a couple of goals there, but she's her kind of link up play, her assists, her work rate has been absolutely incredible. It's not just, she's proved she's not just about the goals, she's about creating the goals and creating the chances. And, the fact that she got into the UEFA team of the tournament as well was no surprise. And that was a, great testament to all the work that she's done.
Yeah. Obviously as the game progressed, Spain began to, I don't know, almost turn the tap, didn't they? And sort of turn it up. They peppered our goal, but I think as I was watching it with my family, I'm saying they're having possession, the Spaniards, but they're not really. Every shot they had was either being blocked away or Hampton had a couple of saves. But it just, to me, it didn't feel like the Spanish were actually going to unlock us. And I think that's more, our defence knew the job it had to do. Yeah, they
didn't really have a clear-cut chance at all. And over the course of the rest of the 90 minutes and also kind of extra time as well, my feelings were shifting. Whenever I saw at the early part after the Russo goal, when you kind of had those waves of Spanish attacks, it was kind of heart in your mouth time. Oh God, what's going to happen here? But then, as you say, kind of the defense were kicking in. Carter had an unbelievable. The whole back four, I think, had a great game. Stanway was, I think, put in an absolute shift as well. She was going for it. She was determined to win balls back. I think gradually, the more I saw of those waves going through the rest of the 90 minutes, then into extra time, I've got a little bit more relaxed. I just thought our defence have got this covered. The defence in the midfield, they're dealing with it. It's not going to happen. Not today.
Yeah. Mopped it all up.
Yeah, and and that's I think the only way we were going to win it on that basis then was kind of by forcing that draw and taking them to penalties. But they did an absolutely fantastic job, and I think it was truly a team performance.
Yeah. I mean, so we'd already experienced extra time. Sweden had taken us to extra time. Italy had taken us to extra time. Spain were now taking us to extra time. I mean, ultimately, over the course of this tournament, we've played an extra game through 3 lots of extra time. And then, of course, the penalties which we'd experienced against Sweden, penalties it was to be against Spain. You say that obviously they were taken at your end. When the cameras bring together the 2 captains, they toss the coin for the ends. They toss the coin to see who goes first. I mean, you can immediately hear when the referee points to that end, the England cheer that went up.
And we had that as well, and it's just that there is a sort of that first hit of elation and a bit of relief as well that you're going to have hopefully some form of advantage going into penalties. And it looks like I think she won both tosses, did Leah Williamson. So we got she got to decide what end, also what position we were going to take penalties in as well. So that was a kind of a good start, and maybe a little bit of a psychological advantage there.
Well, the first penalty was quite interesting because it was one that I had to. I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but as soon as Beth Mead slipped over after scoring a goal, I've said to my family, she's going to have to take this again, and they're all like, "Well, why is that?" It's not something that happens too often, but when you get a double touch in a penalty shootout, you've got to take it again. Yeah, it was unfortunate the fact that she's taken that, scored, and then the pressure really ramps up that she's got to take it again.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the double, the double touch. I was just more focused on where the ball was going, and found that it went in the net, and the cheers after that. But I did turn around. I immediately saw Catacoy, the Spanish goalkeeper, kind of gesturing for VAR. She was sort of making like a rectangle sort of sign with her fingers, to say the referee needs to check that. And from that point onwards, I was just there staring at the referee and Catacoy and thinking, no, okay, something's about to shift here, something's about to change. And ultimately, it was the right decision. Following the laws of the game, it was the right decision.
Yeah, no, I haven't got the list of the penalty takers to hand as it happens, but obviously,
I'll help you.
Go on, run me through them.
Yes, obviously, Beth Mead, obviously missed her retake, so that was a little bit deflating. But then I think it was Aguero for Spain who then stepped up and scored hers. I think she put hers kind of straight down the middle. So obviously, on equal penalties taken, we're 1 down at that point. So you just kind of hope and pray that something's going to happen. Hannah Hampton's going to pull out a miracle, or one of their players has misses. And fortunately, did have long to wait. I mean, Alex Greenwood, I think, then stepped up to take hers. I think, fair play to her. I think she just about squeezed it in, but she missed against Sweden in the quarterfinal. So there was a little bit of a sort of mini redemption for her there to kind of, to put one in the back, put in the back of the net and kind of keep us in the game. And then after that, it was Mariona Caldente, who I can remember distinctly. My sister-in-law, who was with me for the game, she was there saying she always scores penalties. She always scores.
Now, I remember this one, actually, now you say, because she took a really slow run-up.
Yeah.
And obviously it didn't pay off.
And it seemed like the penalty just also travelled very slowly as well. Yeah, and it felt like Hannah Hampton had bags of time to kind of make that, make that jump. I mean, if you actually watch her positioning, I think Hannah Hampton kind of sways off to the kind of her right hand side a little bit, so it kind of opens up the left. And Mariana Caldente probably thought, okay, well, that's where I'm going to put it then. But Hannah was then kind of, because of the pace of the penalty, Hannah was able to kind of shift to her left and make that save. So, and obviously when your goalkeeper makes a save, we could probably talk a bit more about Hannah Hampton as well as Chloe Kelly later. But that was just elation there as well. Feel like, okay, we could be, we're back in the game here. Yeah. We're back on equal terms. Who was next? So,
Caldente misses, Then
it was Niamh Charles for us, and I kind of had no history or no knowledge of what Niamh Charles's penalty taking history is like, and she scored before, but fair play for stepping up, and she buried it, and the goalkeeper went the wrong way. So again, that was fantastic. We were kind of back in pole position, albeit Spain still then had to go and score, and then who steps up? But the best player in the world, someone who I think she's absolutely incredible, Aitana Bonmati, and I can just remember thinking Bonmati, something's got to give at some point with her. She's it's like everything she touches turns to gold. But I think at some point she's got to fail. And
what a stage to fail on!
What a stage to fail on! And I think she took I'm just trying to remember her penalty now. It was kind of to Hannah Hampton's right. It was the opposite It was the opposite side to where Caldente put hers.
Oh, I see.
So Hampton went the right way. It was probably harder and faster than Caldente's penalty, but Hampton was up to it and pulled off a beautiful save. Kind of probably just at her right height as well. So I think probably at that point that's when it started to kind of just creeping that I think maybe
way in our direction.
Is it gonna? Yeah, but then that kind of changed a few seconds later when Leah Williamson steps up, and yes. I think she gave it a good boot, but I think if you see Katakoi's hands, a kind of her trailing hand, she kind of just sticks it up in the air, gets it up, and manages to take the ball kind of out, away from the goal, and kind of almost over or out. It was an absolutely incredible save by Katakoi. I think she deserves a lot of credit. I think both goalkeepers deserve a lot of credit. Both goalkeepers saved, I think, 2 penalties. So, Katakoi saved Meads and Williamson's, Hampton saved Caldente's and Bonmati. So,
as something I've said on previous episodes, I think this has been a tournament that has highlighted the goalkeepers in the women's game. I think it's done an absolute power of good, this tournament for goalkeepers.
You've had some fantastic performances. Obviously, Hannah Hampton, who I'll say a bit more on her later, and Katrin Berger for Germany as well. The Swedish goalkeeper, particularly her antics in the penalty shootout, Falk, absolutely, and also Katakoi as well. So, I think it's been a solid tournament for the goalkeepers.
Yeah. Go on, who was next? You've got the list next there.
So after Liam Williamson, so obviously at this point we are, I think, we are winning. We're winning 2-1. We've missed off our first penalty, so then you kind of then got the leveler penalty from Salma Paraguayo, to try and equalise, to try and level things up, and she ends up hooking it wide to Hannah Hampton's left, and Hannah, went the right direction. It was quite a hard penalty. If Paraguayo had kind of put it a couple of more inches a little bit further in, then I think it probably would have just about beaten Hannah Hampton. I think she went exactly the right way, but I think there would have been so much pace on it. I think it would have just crept in, but fortunately it went wide. And it was at that point I knew because I've been sort of, obviously you track these things, in your brain, that this is, this, if we win this, we score the next one, we're winning this. And I just said, even before she started walking forward, I said, this is Chloe Kelly. This has to be Chloe Kelly.
When she did, when the cameras panned to her walking forward, you could hear the crowd just erupting, because I mean she's iconic, and to see her moving forward, to people knew what was potentially going to happen, and for her to play her part. It was
like it was just beautifully scripted somehow. If Williamson had scored a penalty, then obviously it wouldn't have got that far, and Paraguayo's miss couldn't have ended it. But it was almost like it was written that it was going to go down to Chloe Kelly. And I knew she'd be the penalty taker before I even saw her walking forward. So you then see her coming forward, and I said to my sister-in-law, I said, if Kelly scores this, we've won. And it just wasn't, my sister, she just wasn't registering with her. She was in a daze or something. I think she hadn't been following it, and she was just kind of still almost like probably a bit numb. But then we saw Kelly step up, and she's got that trademark kind of hop that she does before she, before she then goes and goes forward to take the penalty. So, and then the rest is history, as they say. It was absolute pandemonium. I don't think I've gone that crazy before. Probably the closest I was for the men's last year at the Euros, the semi-final, Ollie Watkins goal. Just the sheer amount of it's joy, it's relief, it's all those different things just kind of combining. The fact that we've beaten probably the best team on paper anyway in the world, and the way we've done it over the last, not just in that game on penalties, but all the way through the tournament. It was just so sweet. It's going to stay with me for a long time. That's
superb. I mean, and just on Chloe Kelly, let's not forget, obviously she was the winner back in scored the winner the time when we won it before. I've just come from the parade in London where she was interviewed on stage. On one of the things that she said, she just stood there with the microphone in hand and said to the crowd, "Pressure, what pressure?"
Yeah, and then I think she said afterwards, when she was interviewed, that she goes, "I don't miss penalties twice." So I mean, just that level of confidence and coolness that she's got. I mean, the Chloe Kelly story over the last year is remarkable.
It is, yeah.
I mean, so earlier on this year, also she was frozen out of Man City. She kind of had to try and force a move away. She got her loan deal at Arsenal. Wins, put in some great performances there. Wins the Women's Champions League with them there, and then gets before the tournament gets a permanent deal there. And then this tournament as well. I mean, 2022. If you kind of think, saying when sort of Chloe Kelly in 2022, kind of what did she do? Everyone will kind of say, "Oh, the winning goal in the final." Yeah. I don't think people kind of can think about anything else that she did in that tournament. It's all about that final goal. But if you look at what she did in this tournament, it wasn't just about the winning penalty in this match, or the winning penalty, or the rebound, I should say, in the Italy game. It was also about all the assists that she created. Both assists, 2 assists in the Sweden game, the assist for Russo for the equaliser in the final, and just the energy she brought whenever she came on. So I think it was she's going to be remembered at this tournament for a lot more than just kind of one goal that she was 3 years ago. And she was also in the team of the tournament, which again is it's unsurprising. I think she's proven that she's an absolutely world-class player.
Absolutely. And also just to mention, it was quite a heartfelt message she put on social media about being frozen out from Manchester City. So she's been through some real heartache, and come out, well, smelling of roses, come out on top, cream on the top. She's well, people are already saying now she's sports personality of the year.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. But I mean, you've got to be thrilled for her, and especially
Absolutely.
I think the start of the year she had, that message she put on her Instagram about how it was impacting her mental health. And I think people at Man City were kind of briefing against her and to the media, and she was saying, I think ultimately she just wanted to be happy again. And look at 6 months later, she's got an extra 2 medals in her collection, the Champions League medal and another European Championship medal. She's got a permanent move to Arsenal, team clearly who are kind of valuing her and what she does. So, life couldn't be much better for Chloe Kelly at the moment.
Yeah. Well, and life couldn't be much better as well for Hannah Hampton. We mentioned her, and let's talk about her, because that's frankly has been a turn of events for her.
Yeah, and I think for Hannah Hampton, you've probably got to look back, not just in the last few months with Mary Earps retiring. I think you've probably got to look back 2 or 3 years. So obviously she was in the Euro 22 squad. She didn't play in the Euros 3 years ago. Obviously Mary Earps was our goalkeeper then. I think for a period of time she was dropped from the England setup. I think Serena made kind of some vague references to kind of she's got some personal issues to sort out, or she's got some issues to sort out. It was never revealed what those were, but okay, that's fine. That's for her. And she's then she then made her way back into the England setup. Actually, the bit we probably need to talk about is how when she left Aston Villa in 2023, so they bought the current Dutch goalkeeper Van Domselaar, and she was kind of surplus to requirements at Aston Villa. She went to Chelsea on a free transfer where she was one of 5 goalkeepers.
Right.
At the time, and above her in the pecking order, you had Anne-Katrin Berger, who is the German goalkeeper, who's no longer there. You had the former Swedish goalkeeper Musovic, who was, I think, kind of the number 1, or at least maybe one or number 2 at the time. So she had to, she joined as one of 5 goalkeepers there, and she had to work her way to the top. And fortunately, Emma Hayes saw something about her, worked with her, and under kind of the last, I think, season of Emma Hayes, she kind of got towards that number 1 position for a good chunk of the games. And has continued that under the new manager Sonia Bonpasta. She's the Chelsea number 1 now, and she won the treble with them last season.
Yeah,
I was nervous about her going into the tournament, obviously with Mary Earps retiring, and is she going to be able to step up? But she's proven that, and in bucket loads, and it was really nice to hear. In the England end on Sunday, the kind of the England's number 1, England's England number 1 chant as well for Hannah Hampton. So she's kind of won people's hearts. She's won those hearts and minds over now, and she is definitely our number 1.
Absolutely, England's number 1 for many a game to come, and we've got to cast our mind for. Well, let's just quickly talk us through the trophy lift before we cast our mind forward to what's further down the road.
Yeah, so we stayed behind for our travel plans were completely thrown out the window because we were due to get a train back kind of an hour after full the penalties.
Yeah,
and we realised that we're not going to make that, so we ended up kind of staying in Basel till about 3 a.m. and getting a coach back to Geneva instead, which is where we were due to fly back from. So we thought let's stay behind and take it in. So we watched the trophy lift, and again that was just elation mixed with that very surreal feeling of, have we actually done this? Given the adversity that we faced in this tournament, and the setbacks, we've come up smelling of roses here, and just again a very, very surreal experience.
It's not often people get to say they've seen an England team lift a trophy, but you've done that
twice.
Well, the 5, yeah, I can at the finalissima. I can
three times down. So.
But can we make it a 4th? That's what we've got to ask ourselves. The World Cup in Brazil 2027 is what everyone's going to be talking about now. We're going to be going into that as favourites. I know it's obviously a long way off at the moment, but it's something we've got to consider.
No, I think there is probably no better tournament prep for that World Cup than to win your European Championship. So we're in kind of a good position for that. Spain will come back though. We beat Spain on penalties. It's probably not going to take much for Spain to kind of sharpen up some of their finishing,
lick their wounds.
Lick their wounds, and then sort out their finishing, and they could be even more dangerous than they were on Sunday. I think you also have to consider as well a resurgent USA as well under Emma Hayes. Obviously, she got them to the gold medal at the Olympics last year. I think she's doing some fantastic things with them at the moment, and they've got some fantastic players who are coming through. So I think we're going to see a different, much more competitive USA side in 2027 than we did in 2023, where they were a bit of a damp squib there. So, but we're in the mix there, and I think all the right ingredients are there. We've got a fantastic manager who I will never doubt again. She, even over the last 2 years where we've kind of not qualified for the Olympics, we've come second in Nations Leagues. We've lost some silly games. I don't think I'm not going to. I can't doubt Serena. I think she knows what she's doing. But we've got that ingredient. We've got some great players who are going to carry on now, have come through and carry on. Michelle Adjeman, I mean, we haven't said anything about her.
Yeah.
My word. Played about a game and a half, the equivalent of in this tournament, and got young player of the tournament. I mean, just goes to show the impact that she's got. She's going to be around a long, long time. Hopefully, when 2035, when we're going to host the World Cup, so hopefully she'll still be around then.
Let's hope so. Seems a long way off, but that's going to come round very quickly, very quickly. Wow. I mean, what can we say? England, the Lionesses are European champions once again. So congratulations to them. Nick, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for
having me.
No, thanks for just telling us what it was like. And perhaps there's a lesson for us all there about going for those final tickets, going for that early flight, just getting it in there.
Believe in them. I think I'm going to, depending on, let's see where the next Euros is. We don't know yet. I think they're due to announce it. Is it either this year or later on this year or next year? But see you guys back there in 4 years' time, hopefully.
Absolutely. Cheers for that.
Take care. Cheers, Russell.
Thanks so much to Nick there. Great to hear about all what it was like over in Basel there. Now, I mentioned about Chloe Kelly winning Spotty, Sports Personality of the Year. I mean, it's a possibility. There's so many sports personalities that could win it, but she's got to be up there with a chance. Let's not forget Mary Earps has previously won it as well. But there are so many accolades that all the Lionesses deserve, be it, I don't know, MBEs, CBEs, Damehoods. All will no doubt be announced in the New Year's honours or the King's birthday honours. These things aren't things that can just be announced as and when we would like them to be. No, we have to wait. King's birthday honours, they're announced in June. So who knows, come the New Year's honours, some of those players, all of those players and manager will hopefully be awarded what they deserve. But one thing I do think that needs to be addressed and can be addressed now is a statue. A statue of Captain Leah Williamson. A statue outside Wembley Stadium. It could be next to Bobby Moore. I think this is a no-brainer. 2 Euro wins as England's most successful captain. I think it's the least she deserves. And what's not to like about it? Is there an argument to not put a statue of Leah Williamson outside Wembley Stadium? I can't think of one personally. And you put it there, it's something that we as fans can all appreciate. Come on. What's that petition website called? And just sticking with the Lionesses, recently announced is a fixture for them. The Lionesses will be playing China Saturday the 29th of November at Wembley Stadium. Obviously tickets for that will be released in due course, although I think there are international dates before that. So I imagine there will be more announcements to come. Whether those games will be played at Wembley remains to be seen. But I think there will be 2 matches prior to that game against China in November. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's leave this one there. Thank you very much once again to Nick for joining us. Well done, the Lionesses. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget you can follow the show on social media. Just search 3 Lions Podcast. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a thumbs up, whatever takes your fancy. But I will be back very soon, once again, with some more England-related content. I hope you can join me for it. So until then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.
Pressure? What pressure?